the moment to express sincere appreciation to those of you who have stepped forward to undertake various voluntary tasks on Greyland and at your various circles in Nigeria. Particularly, it was very reassuring for me when at the height of the lockdown occasioned by COVID-19 pandemic, some youths mobilized themselves and commenced taking care of the lawns and grounds on Greyland. It brought hope and assurance that we can look forward to years to come and be satisfied that there are such crops of youth, dedicated sense of responsibility. They also carried. Hello, can you hear me? Hello? Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can.
There are some interruptions. Okay.
Yes, we can.
Okay. The youths on Greyland also carried out painting work of all the curbs along the roads and on the temple ground before the September festival. This gathering is called up because of my constant concern about the need to support our youth through guidance and mentorship so that they may excel and surpass the current attainments of our generation of adults. We will also, during this questions and answer section, Ogona, I think it would be nice if you can mute everyone else. Hello, Ogona?
Yes, sir. I've muted everyone now.
Okay. So, can you hear me now?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yes.
So we will also, during question and answer session, review practical aspects relating to this concern about youth guidance and mentorship, so that those willing may already step into their paths towards the actualization of their dreams. Whenever we contemplate the future, we indirectly are contemplating the state of our youth. And I'm referring to all of you listening to me at this moment, without exception. The future belongs to all of you, without any doubt. But then, the fact that the future belongs to all of you does not mean that you will not exert yourselves to inherit that future. You must constantly bear in mind the words of the Grail message in the lecture Temperament, where Abdushin states, without efforts, however, no prize can be won, for that is against the law of unceasing movement in creation, which is a necessary factor for the maintenance and further development of everything. Movement in the spirit and of the body. Everything which does not move or which does not move in the right way will be ejected, because it does nothing but disturb the swinging harmony of creation. It is ejected as being a diseased part which does not want to move along in rhythm. This is from the lecture Temperament. You would have noticed from the quotation I just shared that the Grail message speaks of moving in the right way and not movement in just any direction. It must be movement and exertion in the right way. The right way can only be a way that supports the upbuilding development of creation, a way that brings joy and happiness to fellow human beings. This way lies through proper recognition of the laws of creation, and if we make use of everything creation offers us in purest joyful activities, we thereby honor God. I have often shared the secret with young people who aspire to greatness and accomplishment in life, that the easiest way to follow is to find in your environment one human need towards a progressive humanity and fulfill that need. Think of humanity always. Think of how to improve things and bring about happiness, and how to glorify the Almighty Creator through the works of your hands. Then you'll be stepping into an accomplished life. You are at that moment which can make or mar your future. I can tell you from personal experience that many adults miss this moment, and some of them are still regretting it till today. So this interaction has the singular purpose of helping to remind and awaken you all to the golden opportunities this special period of your lives holds for all of you. The 1st October witnessed the 60th celebration of Nigeria's independence and attainment of statehood. Ironically, it was that same month that the organized, well-orchestrated #EndSARS protest by the Nigerian youth took place. The mass action calling for a complete ban of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, SARS, of the Nigerian Police Force rocked cities across Nigeria. The bottled anger of many of the country's youths over unfair harassment and killing by SARS found an outlet for expression of a greater demand on government to deliver equitable economic prosperity for its citizens. The youth's demand include a revival of the educational and health system and a stronger effort towards job creation. A 7-point agenda was fashioned out on how the future governance is to be. The high point of this protestation was when on Tuesday, 20 of October 2020, soldiers were deployed to disperse the peaceful protest, which led to shooting and seemingly huge death casualties. This singular act led to unforeseen and unplanned and untold repercussions. The hoodlums and miscreants took advantage of the situation, and this led to arson and looting, burning, destruction of businesses, killings, complete anarchy, and was unleashed onto many cities in the country. Even though the storm is calm now, what can we deduce from what lessons have been learned from these events, which is the kernel of my today's discussion? I will examine this in the light of truth, the Grail message. Ladies and gentlemen, I ask you, and I will be asking questions. Was that action a surprise to you all? The action of the youth, was it expected? In the Grail message, Abdurrahim spoke of blood radiations. It has to do with temperament in which the blood plays a major role. The type of temperament prevalent and dominating in the youth, hot bloods, I call it, indicated that such actions are to be expected. The melancholic temperament that comes to the fore in early manhood or womanhood of youths is at display here, and which combines or dovetails into the choleric temperament, which brings about invigorating action, has a lot to do with what happened at the #EndSARS protest. But was the protest wrong? Certainly not at all. It flows with the natural development of the youths. However, the wanton destruction, violent actions, and burning, looting, and killing are wrong. To buttress this statement, I will quote again from the Grill message, lecture Temperament. The quotation goes as follows: temperaments which are well controlled and properly employed are like wearing good boots on the road through material substance on earth. Pay greater attention to them than you have done so far. You cannot do without them, but neither must you yield to them, as they then become tyrants, which torment you and your surroundings also, instead of serving you. And I want to re-emphasize this word. The bringer of the message says, pay greater attention to them than you have done so far. You cannot do without them, but neither must you yield to them, as they then become tyrants, which torment you and your surroundings also, instead of serving you. So, was the happening that resulted in the protest expected? The actions were indeed signs of the times, which we've been talking about since the beginning of COVID-19. It is the trumpet of the world judgment. There are many signs by which we can recognize this unique world judgment. Reports of political disturbances, like we've seen in all over the world, economic distresses that we witness all over the world, famine, flooding, emergence of dreadful diseases and plagues like we are experiencing, earthquakes, killings. These days, it's easy to kill a human being without feeling a qualm about it. But wanton destruction of settlements, protests like we witnessed last month, strikes like we have been witnessing with the lecturers since almost 5 months, and of course, bad governance. These are signs of the trumpets of the world judgment. There is indeed a great imbalance in the country, in Nigeria, in giving as well as in receiving, in every respect and in all spheres of our life. It is then inevitable, since there is this imbalance, that the consequences, as was witnessed in the last 3 weeks, was bound to happen. The catalyst for this unavoidable spontaneous crisis or action are rooted in our thought forms. The youth's collective actions are rooted in thought centers which human beings cannot control. In accordance with the law of attraction of homogeneous species, similar thoughts unite in centers above us in the beyond. All similar thoughts are linked with these concentration centers, and they receive ever new supply of similar thoughts which allow it to grow. And then someday, the moment comes when one or several persons or whole masses will transform these thought forms into deeds. Therefore, the events of what I termed the silent revolution in Nigeria was a consequence of these thought centers, for which no earthly barrier can prevent. From what we witnessed and saw, it was obvious that both good and evil thought centers were at play. This peaceful demonstration of the hashtag EndSARS belonged to the noble one, while the wanton destruction, arson, killing were attracted from the consecration of the thought forms from the dark or evil centers. Which one did you, as an individual, sow? What was the thought forms that each one of you sow? Remember, what you sow is what you reap. If even the deed is perpetrated by someone else. So what therefore are the lessons learned from the events of October as cross-bearer youths? This hashtag EndSARS protest is an attestation of the statement of Abruzzin that before a new era, an order is to be born, the old ways will be extracted, crushed, and cast off, possibly with the furies unleashed before the right rhythm is restored to our society and the obedience to the laws, and just an egalitarian society as anchored by the right leadership. The dark forces and the oddities must first perish, consumed by scorching fires, so that the full beauty, peace, progress, and tranquility can blossom out of the crisis. That's what we've just witnessed. You, cross-bearer youths, are to be what I call the avant-garde of the change the world and Nigeria needs. Abruzzin says that mankind wish to see examples in you. You are keenly watched. Hence the reason for this address. You must show example in upbuilding, not in destruction. You must show example in exemplary living, not in killing. You must show example in how to carry out duties, not in wanton destruction of properties. So, ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, how are you to proceed going forward? I've listed some 10 points that you must note in going forward from where we are. The number one, I said, is for you, you must avoid people and platforms that incite violence and hate. In the Grail message, in the lecture, Once Upon a Time, Volume 1, Lecture 19, page 125, the author states, no struggle and no act of violence are needed to enforce the necessary progress for the form of itself. The immutable laws of all reciprocal action will take effect naturally. You don't need to enforce it. Number two, avoid people and platforms that only see dooms, all negative. Number three, be positive in the midst of the uncertainties. Negativity attracts ugly forms. You must always be optimistic. Don't be a pessimist. Otherwise, you drive away the help that could come to you. Number 4, in this digital age, where social media has become a vehicle for quick dissemination of all sorts of fake news, don't be in a hurry to share news, pictures, stories, especially of ugly scenes and incidences without authentication. You might be harming yourself and others, and the consequences might come after even your present art life. Number 5, preach and practice peace always, no matter the temptation to do otherwise. No one profits from chaos. Chaos is destructive, as we have witnessed. Number 6, don't be insensitive. Be considerate, be kind to each other and to fellow human beings. Number 7, don't gloat or be happy over the unfortunate circumstances of your friends, your neighbors, not even your enemies. Number 8, and for those of you who may have lost things during the riots or have lost job, don't be despondent. Once there is life, there's an opportunity to replace and replenish. It is only a setback for a better tomorrow. Number 9, seek solace in patience and pray quietly that things may turn around for the good for you. Remember, you must be exemplary in all that you do. The world is watching you. So this event of October is a watershed in the annals of our country. It has definitely redefined how and what Nigeria will be like in future. But you, the Cosbearer youths, like I said, are the avant-garde of the new movement. You are the salt of the earth and the light of the world. You do possess knowledge and ability to make big things happen. Each one of you has a place in the history and development of Nigeria and the global world. Whether that place will be great, memorable, decisive, joyful, and uplifting, or whether it will bring about damages, regrets, sadness, depression, depends on the decisions and steps you are taking presently. There's no magic wand to success other than focused, diligent exertion of oneself in the direction pointed out by one's intuition and passion. By the word passion, I refer collectively to those innate abilities and talents with which each person has been blessed. Your first task is to discover yourself in that talent or ability with which creation endowed you abundantly. Remember the statements to the effect that no one is so poor that he or she has nothing to give to his neighbor. We give to our neighbor and to creation through the diligent application of the abilities and the talents that we possess. There's always a raging debate as to whether the adults have taken over all the opportunities and left the youths with the short end of the stick. The average youth seems to think that there are no more opportunities in entrepreneurship, corporate life, or even in politics for them. They look at accomplished Nigerians, accomplished professionals with certain anger and disdain. I can tell you straight away that from the knowledge granted us through the Grail message, in the light of truth, we are assured that creation's abundance and opportunities are inexhaustible. In fact, we have not even quite scratched the surface of the huge creation's wealth awaiting our discovery and exploitation. So the first thing to alter or change is this negative mindset that seeks to tell you that opportunities are no more there. This is a lie. There are greater discoveries to be made than already is in existence. However, it requires discipline and dedicated focus to be able to harness these discoveries and be able to bring them to humanity and for your own financial benefits. Let me remind you of the statement given to us in the lecture, The Cycle of Radiation, in the composite volume, page 871, where Abdruchin states, "Thus, man, your masterpieces are yet to come. The achievements which you can actually bring about within the boundaries which has set up family for you and which you can never cross. In reality, however, these boundaries are set so wide for you that you may rejoice about this and should only thank God for all the grace He bestows upon you." Lecture, The Cycle of Radiation. Although the quoted words refer to all humanity, but in actual fact, it refers more to the youth because of your energy and vitality. It is also not true that you have to literally push the older generation aside in order to aspire to your own attainments. Creation accommodates the complementary utilization and harmonious cooperation of all groups, young and old. Yes, it is heartwarming that the youths of Nigeria found their collective voices in that hashtag EndSARS protest. It was unbelievable. Nobody thought it could happen. But the point was well made that acts of injustices and maladministration must be looked into by political leadership in the country. But I do not want you to think that the blame for all the ills of our society lies with the adults alone. It lies with all of us, including youths, who in one way or another expressed ugly thoughts and spoken ugly words, like I spoke about thought centers, or acted in ugly ways towards Nigeria and society in general. All these are the culmination of what is the ills in the society. It is the spiritual harvest from those ugly volitions that we are all reaping as a nation. So let us always remember that power from the Almighty Creator constantly pours into our material creation, gets attracted by the intuitive volitions of human spirits according to their degree of intensity. The advantage you have is that you are also at this particular time of your life imbued with the blood radiation, which compels a bridge between the melancholic and choleric temperaments. The melancholic temperament permits you unrestrained compass for dreaming and aspiring towards the ideal, while the choleric temperament guides you towards the conscious execution of those ideals. With the impetus which the generative power also brings to you at the melancholic state, you simply have no reason to fail. It is also to your great advantage that the world is moving very fast in all directions, especially in the direction of information technology. In our own times, one was often restricted to his or her geographical space and realities. But now you all have the entire world reduced to the buttons of your smart Android phones. That is an enormous power which you must all harness. You must now think globally. There's nothing like developing or developed country anymore. The world has become a global village. That is how you should aspire to see the opportunities of the present and of the future. I believe many of you know of the story of Ezra Olubi and Shola Akinlade, who both founded Paystack, a fintech startup in the year 2016. But unknown to them, 4 years after, they will be offered a whopping $200 million for the project by Strip, a global planner which needed to leverage on the app. They have become billionaires overnight, which happened because they toiled and exerted themselves to accomplish something that society needs. Before the sale, it was estimated that Paystack was already handling half of all online transactions in Nigeria. Any one of you could do even greater things. You just need to think outside the box. This is a good example of innovative global thinking, which all of you are capable of doing. Have the mindset that amidst every challenge is an opportunity waiting to be discovered. Imagine that the very same dreaded COVID-19, over which so many lamentations are going on, is what has catapulted Eric Yuan, the Chinese-American founder of Zoom, which we are using now, from an ordinary information technology practitioner to $20.2 billion net worth, according to Forbes. He's merely 50 years old and did not attend any high-sounding university. His video teleconferencing technology, Zoom, has taken center stage in enabling human beings hold virtual meetings and workshops globally, like we are doing right now. Before him, just to help human beings purchase items of choice with ease online, Jeff Bezos, the CEO of Amazon, has found himself in a mouth-watering approximated net worth of $179.9 billion. And in Nigeria, we have quite a few lists of Nigerians. Elo Ume, of CEO Terragon, is 37, is founder of Terragon Group that are into mobile and digital media. Surely, do not forget your roots and heritage, which links you with the Grail message and the fulfillment that lies with it. Ensure that you uphold spiritual values in all you aspire to achieve or attain. Remain responsibly connected with joyful activities so that your appreciation of the laws of creation will be constantly strengthened. And to those of you who are already on the ladder of success, remember the law of balance, which guides you to the truth about the creation rhythm of giving and taking. Do not allow your success to get into your heads to the extent that you will forget to support your friends and the Grail cause. Wealth and positions soon become worthless if they are not applied towards spiritual edifying projects and aspirations. The activities of the Grail movement afford you wonderful opportunities in this respect. Your wealth includes your youthful strength, not just money and riches. Put your time, energy, and skill at the disposal of your circles, and soon you will find an expansion of those abilities that will amaze you. You must stand up for what you believe is right. Don't be overwhelmed by the magnitude of evil or wrongdoers. It is not number that counts. It is the strong determination for what is good and noble. Your presence as a group of young crossbearers should make a difference. You can be and you should be the impactful minority. The world are the rice, but you are the salt of the world. The world is the room, but you are the light of the room. You must have a strong sense of purpose. Catherine Ann Porter observed in a book, "I'm appalled at the aimlessness of most people's life. 50% don't pay any attention to where they are going. 40% are undecided and will go in any direction. Only 10% know what they want. You are in this 10% group, you youths. You should know what you want.
Mr. Ajale Koko, are you muted?
Kindly unmute. Sorry.
Can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Okay, we can hear you now.
Okay. I'm closing. I'm on the last chapter, paragraph or last page of my address. The way you can all connect to each other is through sharing same values. You must articulate the values, compare your values, and see whether it's practicable. Practice the values, institutionalize the values, and make it practical. You must be ready to serve others. You must be servant before you can be a leader. In fact, a leader is a servant. You are to practice unity and peace among yourself. You must be impactful. Going forward, finally, what can the Grail administration help or assist with? Firstly, as most of you may have been aware, we are creating a database for all youths from 18 to 40 years. Circles have been sent the forms, and it is incumbent on each and every youth to fill this, complete all the questions, so that we can have a clear picture of how our youths are situated, and it's a useful statistical data in helping the youths. We intend to drop a mentorship program which can help illuminate your path towards a lifetime career. We will assist you seek advisory support, even outside of Greyland. We will help you with skill acquisition, a training program which we want to capture on basically skills that some of you may want to embark upon. We need you to indicate to us your area of interest. Maybe during the mentorship program, you can come up with what you think you are capable of doing. Finally, remember, you should be the avant-garde. The avant-garde are the people who make the change in society. You must be the salt that are the rise of the world, and you must be the light that is the room of the world. I thank you for listening. So I end my discussion. I think now the Q&A can start. I'm sure some people have been putting down some questions. So we can take some questions now. Who is the moderator for questions?
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah.
And you were on point for 5 minutes. Somebody has been putting up his hand by the name Olubenga Aderemi Williams.
Okay.
You can go on now to ask your question. Kindly unmute yourself.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Yeah. Actually, I have a question and basically a suggestion.
Okay.
During the protest, one thing I would like to emphasize is the protest, as yes, it released a lot of ugly and beautiful thoughts at the same time, which we all saw the results. Um, one thing that I have discussed with people who are in my age group and older is that what a lot of the youths have spoken about and talked about was the need for adults, the older generation voices as well. To
need for adults. I didn't hear
for
that.
the older generation as well to have spoken proper, because in the end, as much as the youths were there, it's a lot of the youths felt alone, and even to the point where some of the adults spoke against them, which is actually still occurring till now. If the idea, it's until after the protest was over, or rather, what the carnage started, that some adults decided to now speak and be like, "Oh yes, what happened was not what happened was not bad. It wasn't the youth, blah blah blah." But at the point of the protest, voices could have been said, voices could have been loud to in support, which could have gone a long way. Also, an important question is in the aim to provide, like you said, the Grail administration is planning to engage the youth on different programs and whatnot. Is there, apart from providing a database which is fair for everyone, is there actually a strategic plan? Because as much as there are people who want to provide workshops and whatnot, it should be something that could actually be tailored to the strengths of the youth long term coming. Because not everybody will be into one specific thing. Some people will be into diverse things, and I think that should go a long way. But the question is there actually a full plan for this?
Yes, young Aderemi, I heard you. First, let me take the one of the protests, #EndSARS protest. I think
Thank
it
you,
was majorly supported by a lot of adults. Maybe they're in the background. Maybe what you don't see or what you were expecting are the politicians to speak and support you. But as far as the well-meaning adults are concerned, because they were actually too the victims, because some of their children were killed, and I know quite a few went even to Lekki toll gate, and they were supporting them. They were backing them from behind. And I think in terms of adult collaboration, you can't fault that at this time. Maybe not from the people in government, but in terms of those who are in the private sector, quite a lot of them supported the youth. There were a lot of money that was raised, and a lot of the youths got this money from their parents or from their sponsors. So there was indeed a major support towards youths actualizing this protest. On youth concerning what you consider how skill empowerment in quote, what we want to do with the database is to sift and select people and know where they have interest. Because if you don't have interest in something, there's no point going into it and joining the Joneses. You must warehouse your skill where or your ability where you think you will have the skill. And there are quite a large areas. Like I said, we set up a mentorship program. There are a large areas untapped that youths are not looking at. And so for us, we'll be able to illuminate some of these parts. I know somebody who just does phone repairs, mobile phone repairs. He learned it from scratch. And the guy is doing very well now. He's less than 40. He's in his 30s. And he started off just going to Computer Village to learn some few things. And today, he has his destiny in his own hand. He controls his own fortune. And we have quite a large number of Nigerians. In preparing for this talk with you, I quickly Googled some young Nigerians, and you cannot believe how many are in the Forbes magazine as people who have made a major breakthrough. And what are the areas? There are things that some of you will never have thought about. There was this Uche Pedro. Is it Bella Niger or Bella Niger? CEO.
Bella Niger, yeah.
Bella Niger. And look, it's a media tech brand. And today, he's won award. In this match, it was in the Women News Media Award by Forbes. Of course, you all know Linda Ekeji and his blog. Linda Ekeji is just 38. He started over 10 years ago when he was less than 30, and he's doing well. We have Sheung Oshewa. He's 36. He's CEO of Nairaland. And Nairaland is an Oshewa is an internet entrepreneur and founder of the popular conversation-like platform. They call it Nairaland. And he launched the forum in March 2005. Look, he was like 21 years old then. And this is Nairaland. It's now projected as the biggest African forum by Forbes. We have also Ayodeji, 3 people, Ayodeji Adewumi, Okpeyemi Awoyemi 31, and Olalekan Olude. They are co-founders of Jobberman. You people know Jobberman. This is a platform, a hub for recruiting. And a lot of corporate bodies have gone to that platform to recruit undergraduates, to recruit newly graduated, new graduates. There is also one Temi Giwa Tubosun. Is just 33 years old. She set up a business to save lives by looking. She went into hospitals and said, "I can always get you what you need." And the business enterprise is to enable him deliver. If they say they need blood, he gets the blood and brings it to hospitals to deliver to people. You can call it a mail runner, but a mail runner that is on a higher level, a courier person, but is making a lot of money through that singular act. She just sat down and said, "What can I do? I can do a mail run for hospitals." And there is another, Onyeka Akuma, is the founder of Farm Crowdy. I don't know whether you know Farm Crowdy. This again, a tech startup. And Farm Crowdy has gone into helping farmers to get fertilizers. They too are into farming. Again, this is an area that most of you can get into if you have a flair for it. There's a huge deficit of farmers, and there's a huge deficit of food, meeting our food needs. And I've told the head of administration here, Dr. Ajayi, who is an agriculturist, a farmer, that those of you who are interested in wanting to farm, we have lands that we can allocate to you, but you must come together. The law of homogeneity must come into play. If the 2, 3 or 4 of you have the same aspirations, then we can, and it's possible to give you land. It can tell you the kind of crop you can grow so that you have quick yield and you can plow it back. It's all happening. I have one, Oluwatobi Ajayi. It's not my own Oluwatobi. Is the chairman CEO of Nord Automobiles Limited, an African automobile brand. In an interview with The Punch, he said he wants to revolutionize the Nigerian transport industry and impact positively on the Nigerian economy. There are a whole lot of them that I can share the experience with you. So while we will give you a guide from Grail Administration as to possibilities, it is for you to exert yourself to say, I want to warehouse my skill in this area. It could be a cobbler in shoemaking or shoe repair. It could be in horology. In fact, I spoke, that's watch repairs. I spoke to one of my colleagues, and he said, look, he can take on those who may be interested in wanting to know how to repair wristwatches. All those little things we do not count big are things that you can grow and grow into a monumental conglomerate. Office cleaning and room cleaning. 2 days ago, somebody came to introduce how you can clean. He brought some equipment which you can use to clean offices, rooms, guest houses, like temple. If one acquires that and you start using it, you can move from room to one house to the other, helping them to clean. Not to talk of artisans in the construction industry. I've told some people, if people are interested in plumbing or electrical repair works or ironmongeries, joinery work, we will try to bring them to those who can help them to actualize their dreams. That we intend to do. With the database, we will know what each one needs and or where people have their strength and what there are other people are doing. Okay?
Okay,
so Mr. Aderemi, that's what I can offer you now.
I wanted to remind you that remember we have less than 1 hour.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
I will
Any
have
other questions?
So honestly, I'll have more questions,
And,
but I hope to meet with you to discuss those questions if you are available to see me. Sir. Yes.
I'm always available.
and you are not feeling
Thank you,
very strong.
Please, you should mute other people. I think you should generally mute them. Aderemi or Zidogona, mute people and let them either write out their questions, and then you can read it out. They have the question column, I think, and they can put their questions down so that we can answer quite a few.
All
Otherwise, they can raise their hand and then you can unmute them to talk.
Yeah, there were 3 people that raised their hands earlier on. The first is Raphael Chukwuka.
Okay, Raphael Chukwuka.
Do you have a question or it's been answered already? Okay.
Yes, I actually do have a question. So
yes. Go on, go ahead.
All right. So it's about the issue of okay. Yeah, all right. Thank you. It's about the issue of circle. So I noticed that while I was filling the form, I was actually indicate my circle. Now it's quite tricky because some of us who move around, I don't know which circle in particular, because I may be in this circle today and the next time, maybe the next couple of months, I'll be in a different circle. So I don't know, what should I do in that situation? You know? Just
anchor it on any circle. It doesn't matter. It's your details that we will use to track you down, your email or your mobile phone. It doesn't matter. Otherwise, you can put it under Greenland. Maybe that will give you a greater intensity of radiation for you to fulfill your aspirations. Greenland is no circle. Okay. So just feel which one you like. But I like your migrating spirit. That's observing law of motion.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Next question.
Next is Elizabeth Udofia. Please unmute and ask your question.
Elizabeth Udofia.
Hello, good evening. I hope everybody's hearing me. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, thank you very much. Good evening. Well, I kind of have a contribution because when Mr. Janle Koko spoke about the different youths who are contributing to the growth of the nation, talking about Linda Ikeji and the rest. Well, I actually pointed a fact, which is that they all either had support at some point in their life to make their dreams become a reality, because they didn't just start it on their own without even either having funds or having, like I said, supportive friends and family. So the point I'd like to make, because not everybody has that opportunity, the point I would like to make is if we weren't all given that chance to have that point in our lives where we have the chance to grab what we want and actually go for our goals and our aspirations, the youth wouldn't be this angry, or sorry if I'm being loud, the youth won't be this angry or actually protest, because there isn't equality in the system at all. Like there are a lot of people who would have opened blogs, or a lot of people who would have made developed an app or something, but they didn't have what was necessary to do that, and they ended up doing what they didn't like or getting into jobs that they didn't really like. So most people who are actually working now, or who are even adults now, didn't end up having that dream they wanted. And the other thing I want to say is, based on the youth acquisition, skill acquisition, and all, I feel the form, and I feel like not everyone may end up wanting to get a skill, because I feel not everybody may want a skill. Different people have, like I said, different people have their aspirations. Some may enjoy. Sorry.
Continue. You were just, I couldn't hear you at some point. Continue. Hello?
Okay, sorry. I said somebody may enjoy traveling, or wants to be a travel photographer or something, but doesn't have that avenue to explore. So he basically just sticks to normal wedding photography as interesting as traveling. That's just the least 2 points I'd like to also add based on the youth skill acquisition. And so the thing is, not everybody.
You are still passing the blame game.
Everybody has that chance, and it's always very burdensome.
Elizabeth, have you finished? Can I talk now?
You can.
Hello? She's gone off?
Yes, I'm done.
Have you ended your question? Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, yes. Right. The issue of those who you said I mentioned, Linda Ikeji and so on. You see, one thing I want to let you know is that, you see, it's those things that you take as hobby that really guarantees you must enjoy what you are doing. And most of these people started it off like a hobby and they grow it. It didn't require any financial backing. And you can go and read their stories. There's a young man now who is like he's 11. I saw him on the TV, or maybe a video of him. And he just started playing with his mobile phone. he created some emoji, and at 11, is beginning to has some creative abilities that is now being exported to those who need it. First, you must have an aspiration towards something. And that aspiration, if it's genuine and it is burning in you, it will find expression through you approaching people. I told you that there is help abound for everyone. And not to talk of right back. Sorry, can you hear me now? Hello?
Yes, please.
We can hear you, sir.
So, what you need is to you can hear me. What you need is to first show an interest in something. Nobody is going to push you or create business for you. Desire a movement that I can do this, or I want to do this. It is when that strong volition is strong, then it can talk to people that will just consider that in my paper. Gosh. Hello? I'm on. So you must have a goal. You must write it down. It's like doing a business plan. This is what I want to do. By the time you put it down, put it by the side of your bed, start thinking about it regularly. You are growing it into a deed. It will come through that thought process to become a deed. But first, you must have a dream. You must have a goal of what you want to do. It could be a hobby, and you can sleep overnight and say, you know, I could turn plastic into blocks. And there are students, young students doing it. They assemble all these empty plastic bottles that we have, and they've turned it into some productive material. It all started, people like Bill Gates, I'm not even going to those levels outside. In Nigeria, there are a lot of young ones. I'll tell you of one who I met. He's into robotics. He just started it like a play. And suddenly, he was able to develop one or two things people saw and help to finish. Then people can to making it a reality. But without starting, and most times these things do not require money first. It requires that thinking cap, thinking outside of the box, that this is what I want to do. But unfortunately, many just sit down idle.
We're having some network glitch from Mr. Janle Koko's end. I hope it will be rectified shortly.
Please, Mr. Gordon, kindly unmute Mr. Janle Koko.
His network is bad. I guess it dropped off.
Okay, I'm back now. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes, we
please.
can.
Yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah.
We can hear you.
Who is the next? Elizabeth, I hope some directive. Come up with an idea that is sellable. You find that help will come to you. Oftentimes, it's like being a laid back, you want something and you are not moving towards it. You must capture your aspirations in a concrete form. Write it out. How do I get there? As you are thinking about it in a positive way, help will be directed to you because it's positive. And you'll find that you'll meet where you connect with your aspirations. There are those who probably have themselves empty, like children, and they say, look, I need guidance. They are working with the aim of saying, I need to do something, and they can meet someone who can give them that impetus to start off their own path in life. So it's not cast in stone. There's no one way fits all. There are so many ways through which you can be able to fulfill your aspirations in life. But there must be that driving force by you, and that will take you to a helper who can now help you actualize it. The next person. Okay. Ogona?
Okay. Maybe we'll take the next question.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. We take the next question. And this is from Sylvester Chooks. Sylvester Chooks, are you ready?
Sylvester Chooks.
Yes, sir, I'm ready.
All right, please go on.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, sir. I would like to say that I only have two questions, sir. My first question.
We can't hear you. Hello? Hello?
Sir, can you hear me?
It's very faint.
You are very faint.
Sir, can you hear me now?
Yes, a lot better. Yeah.
I said you gave a very wonderful speech this afternoon, very inspiring. I have only two. My two questions are, sir, do you believe that youth rebelling against the government is the beginning of a revolution in Nigeria?
Do I believe
that the youth?
Come again.
Do you believe that the youth rebelling against the government, that is this NSAS protest, is the beginning of a revolution?
I can't hear you well.
Sir, can you hear me now?
Mr. Sylvester, please try to write your message.
I believe that this is better. If you can write your questions out, it's better, and so that I can quickly answer it, and it will save a lot of time. I'm sure there are quite a lot of people who want to ask questions. So if it's better for you to scribble something down and pass to the moderators, that way I can then deal with them holistically. But Chooks, you said, do I believe the NSAS, hashtag NSAS thing is a revolution? In my paper, I said this is a silent revolution, the end of which we cannot foresee now. But it has showcased the energy of the youths and the fact that there are quite a large number who can come together with the same aspirations, and they can change and alter the face of this country. If, say, for example, 2023 comes up and somebody needs to go into politics or wants to be elected, the sheer power or the population of the youth will determine who can be elected into a political office in this country today. And we've seen it happen. Biden in US was majorly voted for by the youths, the young ones, who wanted to have a new lease of life. And the majority of those who voted for him were youth. So it's a beginning really of a new revolution. And you must continue on the path. What you don't want to do is to allow miscreants or hoodlums to get into you, because they spoil a whole lot of things. And I quoted from the message that violence is not the key, the gateway to fulfillment of any goal. Next question.
Okay, thank you. Next question is coming from Dr. Osagie Uyo. Dr.
Good evening.
Good evening. You want to put on your video?
Okay, let me do that.
Thank you.
I hope everyone can see me. I'm sorry, I'm on duty, so I'm trying to get to a patient now.
Okay, that's
thank
fine.
you very much, the organizers of this forum, and it's always a pleasure to hear the country leader talk. Thank you very much, sir. And I also want to say I'm glad that this initiative is taking on form. I've always believed that one of the way forward for us as Crossbearers and as humanity is for the generations to cooperate. We've had this generational division for too long.
It's cut off. Hello?
I believe he's cut off. It seems he's in transit, so network is not stable. Let's take the next question. Is from Ohizu Osuji.
Thank you.
And I've often found that
earlier you made mention of.
Hello.
Hello.
Earlier you made mention of how. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Can you hear
Hello.
me?
Hello? Yeah, I can hear you. Who is it?
Hello.
Yes. Hello. I can hear you.
This is Ohizu Swaji.
Hello.
Hello. Yes.
It's the next one.
Thank you so much for speaking. I really took a lot.
Hello. I was muted.
If you can.
Someone muted me.
Hello. Is it me?
I think Ogona and Olushayo. I think those of you who are moderators
on the chat,
let them. Yes, they should ask it on the chat. It makes it faster,
exactly,
quicker, and then it's more. You can get greater clarity from that, and we can afford. It will give opportunity to so many to be able to ask questions. The way they are doing it, it won't work. So only pick the questions from the chat. If there are questions from the chat room, then pick it up and then let me answer that.
There is none at the moment, so wait for them maybe 1 minute to type it down.
Huh? They said Elizabeth is raising her hand again.
Okay, there's a question now.
I believe this question is answered before, and let me just repeat it. It's from Sylvester. He said, sir, from your view of the message, what is your opinion on the event that took place on the 20th October 2020, otherwise known as Black Tuesday?
I've answered it. I've said it's the beginning of a silent revolution, and that if the youths continue on this path, they can change the course and the dynamism of this country for the good, because they can now take their destiny in their hand and determine who will be their ruler, who will get elected into offices. And you can now even more push a lot of youths into public offices. When I say youths, those who have the exposure, the experience, and have time tested. Because if you don't have that requisite background to governance, then you just go there and you'll be wasting your time. So whereas it is the beginning of what the youth can turn into an advantage and use it to determine the kind of person that will rule us in this country from henceforth.
Okay. Hello, everyone. We have like 7 minutes to end this session.
Round up.
So if there are more questions, we will take it. I guess some of us are just typing it, so we give some time.
Otherwise, somebody can speak if they want to.
There's a question from Ohizu. He said, is it possible that leadership having sown violence and greed for so long actually added to the power dark volition among certain segments of society, in turn reap such violence and greed by attracting those same volitions? Yeah.
Anything that is bad cannot be. You don't want to join. Your thought forms should be pure. You should aspire towards all that is light and noble. You cannot, because somebody is doing what you consider wrong, and join forces with it, or join hands with people that will go and kill, when we know from the laws of creation that it is stated, "Thou shalt not kill." So killing is a heinous crime, or it's something that would affect your upward striving. So you cannot say because those leaders or so have failed you, then the way you must go about it is to unleash violence. No, that will not solve it. And I stated here, I quoted from the message that he said what Abdushin says about how we need to go about getting solutions to our problem. He said you cannot go through arson or killing. He said you need to observe what he called motion. I'm trying to look at that quotation, and he gave you an answer that don't join the Joneses in the unleashing mayhem. Try and follow a path of good deeds. Through that, you can achieve what your aspirations are. So it is, there's no point engaging in violence in order to score a point. You are instead blocking your own development, your own spiritual growth, and your own spiritual ascent. Next question.
All right, sir. The next question is by Ifat Nkala. She says, you mentioned Linda Ikeji and a few other successful young people. Yeah. However, as a cross-bearer with the knowledge we possess, are we advised to undertake any channel or path to success without paying attention to whether it offends the laws of creation?
Yeah, good question. That's why I said you can choose your path. Among all those people I have mentioned, you find that quite a lot of them are undertaking noble ventures. Quite a lot of them are undertaking noble venture. So you just need to pick from creation and with the skill you possess, what best suits you. And it is easy. Like I said, you can either continuously pray that you can seek, you can get directions and guidance, and it could come your way. And I can give you my own story to that. When I finished, I was to go and do biochemistry at Unilag because I couldn't do medicine again. And suddenly somebody said, why don't you do accountancy? And I said, accountancy. I know of my father's friend of my father, yes, who, and even my friend's father, who are accountants, and all what they do, they move from one region to the other doing auditing. And it's such a boring job. I said, I cannot be an accountant. And then I just suddenly met somebody who said, can you try quantity surveying? It's like accountancy, but it's in the construction industry. And it resonated with me immediately. And I just pursued it. And today, I can say I didn't regret going through that route. As soon as it was mentioned, it was like something I was looking forward to. And I just picked it up. Yes, I'm going to do this. And with hindsight, I know those who went for medicine and where they ended up. So it's a question of either waiting for promptings or you plodding your own until you freedom to express yourself, your ability and your talent. And all these are not cast in stone. They are not rocket science. All the things these ones are doing. Jobberman is an app that showcases jobs that are around. I mean, you may not go in Linga, get this blog that goes into gossip, but there are a lot of people. There's those who are in entertainment. He packages, one of them packages events. He's an event planner, and he's made some money. There's one 28-year-old guy here. He's CEO of Fallgate, and his company is producing rice now. A company that farms and mills rice, producing about 15 tons on a daily basis. Falalu, through his company, is 28, has empowered and employed almost 200 people and generated $400,000. That's 144 million as revenue in 2018. You know, it's from little seed. I can tell you about a young man I met when we were looking for land for Fairfield High School. The young man was a graduate, and he was the land we were looking at. He was doing growing some things, and I went to him. What are you doing here? He said he's growing spring onions, and I said, oh. He said he just employed the malams, 4 or 5 of them. They wet them. He said it grows around the year. And I said, so who are your clients? He said, ShopRite. That's how we started Prime Flour. He said, if you have land, you can grow the whole of the land with spring onion, that ShopRite will take it all. And that was it. The guy was making money gently, slowly, gradually. There was one who went into the village, who I know, who was picking palm kernels and was crushing them. He said that people like Cadbury needs the kernel, the crushed palm kernel, the inside, like a cake, that they use it in producing chocolates and whatever. So there are things you can do. It's gone. Okay. There are things you can do that can fetch you. If you are not too over-ambitious, start from small. You can see that you can grow things. Like I said, we'll be doing mentorship. Part of what we'll do on a regular basis is mentorship. We'll take you on and give you a whole spectrum of opportunities. If you are one that is yet to make up his or her mind. But you really need to tap into creation's abundance wealth and take a niche or create a niche for yourself through what you want to do there. Now, I told you of somebody who goes around, he cleans my office and he cleans homes. He's making money from just office cleaning. He has some few young people who are not working, and he pays them and he collects his money. He was building gradually from there. The young man I told you about then started importing secondhand laptops, and he's selling them on a large scale all over the place. It's something that anyone can pick up. It's a question of growing interest in something and nurturing it and paying attention to it, and it will grow. Nothing comes from nothing. You have to either put your energy into them for it to become result-oriented, but you cannot have an idea and not move. He said the motion is the law in creation. You must constantly move if you want to attain some level of independence or you want to achieve entrepreneurship for yourself. Next question.
Okay, we're going to take two more questions and then round up the session. Yeah. So the next one is from Olugbenga. Well, he's asking, what is your message to those young people that were at the forefront of the EndSARS protest, which the government is now handpicking or, arresting? Some have got their passports seized, bank accounts frozen, and some persons that made online comments are now being handpicked. I think his question is, around what would be your advice to these young people? Imagining some others might want to toe that line, but then again, if the government is now clamping down on them, what else can they do to express themselves or express their displeasure at what's going on in the country?
No, that's not my question. You have rephrased it. My question is
really clear. I was just
the people that have been unpicked. What's your message to them? Because some people have been unpicked and some are being victimized.
Look, I don't know whether you are part of the movement, but let me tell you, nothing can happen to those people. The outside world is beaming their radar on Nigeria, and that hashtag EndSARS has a strong foothold outside Nigeria. And if they are maltreated in whatever form, the Western world are ready to cut off those politicians from entering their country. And if there's one thing a politician doesn't like, is to be barred from going travels, because they make a lot of money from their quota system through that. So I'm sure they can't. And the movement is well intact. It's a monolithic thing. And I believe they should not allow those miscreants, which some people said were sent by government, to dilute their own collective effort. There must be some sacrifices to be paid for revolution to take place. So if they are being stopped, they cannot be imprisoned, except if they've turned violent. They can only ask them questions. And I can tell you, that movement, hashtag EndSARS, is monitoring all those who are being targeted by government. And the government will only continue to stain themselves, as it were, if they give those kind of people, if they start arresting those kind of people, because they turn them into a star, and then it eventually will lead to something more profound, and that can find desired results. So they should persevere. They should not be violent. You can't fight government, but I'm sure they are being monitored by their group, and some of them have volunteer lawyers who are trying to give them legal backing. so that nothing can happen to them. I believe it's the price you pay for wanting a change, but as long as they are not killed and they are not violently or malevolently handled, then it's part of the success story. Because it means the government listens and government is aware that these people, if you don't try to hold them, they will unleash some other things that could rattle us. Government was rattled during that protest, and they are still stunned because they could not target some individual leaders. It was a mass movement, and that's the way to go. It is the way to effect a change in the society. Next question.
Okay, I'll be asking the last question.
Yes.
A few more questions have come in after that, but we'll then treat them afterwards. Yeah. With everything that has taken place in this year, but particularly with regards to the protest which took place during the last month and the responses given by the government, how are the youth supposed to react? That's one. Because some people are frankly turned off from the prospect of having to go through so much for so little. I guess the core question is, if you are fighting for survival with low job opportunities and additionally burdened with fighting for basic survival as a youth in Nigeria, is there any realistic advice, in your opinion, for the youth?
I think I must say this, and I pass this information to your group heads. There must be, the youth must put their ears on the ground. There are new opportunities that government, as a result of that protest, that is now available to youth. You can get grant now to do, so long you want anything to do, to carry out your, whatever is your vocation. And they are giving internship for those who want to be engaged in things. Because let's be honest, you can no longer find white-collar jobs. Those days are gone. It's in entrepreneurship that you can warehouse your skill now. So government is providing grants, government is providing internship. Lagos State is giving 2,000 internship. They'll be paying them to learn other trades. That is a fallout, a good fallout of it. And the government grant, I think the federal government is giving people up to 300, 400. I sent the information to the Otumba of this world and Anthony Adiremi to paste on your platform. All of you should try to regularly look at newspapers, because last Friday was when I saw the one of the Lagos State government. They want to train 2,000 artisans, interns, and they'll be paying them. And when you come out, you have a skill, you can use the skill you have acquired to engage yourself in meaningful jobs or businesses. So it is not a wasted effort. It is, of course, has made government to start thinking of what they can do. The grant that CBN is producing is phenomenal. And they want to make sure it is by state state by state. And those who still feel that they have not, they are strong, they should form, if they form a vanguard of a political group, they have a force, and because the youths are many, the youths are about 70% of Nigerian population, they can effect changes whenever and if ever they want. That's the way to go. But tapping into the things that the government had done, both at federal and state level, to help to empower yourself. once we see those kind of opportunities, I'll place it on your platform so that you can apply or do something. There are those too who scholarship are being provided for immediately after degree program to go for master's program and what have you. Okay, I think we've come to the end of the session, isn't it? Hello, are you all there?
Hello, sir. Yes.
Okay. Mr. Aderemi, it's over to you. Tony.
Yes, Daddy. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir, for making our point in time to share with us. And we have really been schooled, knowing fully well that you have gone through this path. And we now know, for those of us who are in doubt before now, that we are not alone. First of all, we need to know that, yes, that with the great message that we have with us, the Lord is with us. And again, physically present with us, we have his representatives on ground. In Nigeria alone, we have two of them who are here. And in the land of Africa, we have three. I would like to mention Mr. Ndage, Dr. Nwanze, and your honorable self, Daddy. Thank you so much. And we know that nothing good can coexist with, can exist on a fieldy ground. Yeah. So before the new will really stand on the right footing, the old must be crushed, just like the message has put it rightly. And it's not for nothing that at this point in time, such a mass action is coming. And the energy is rooted in the youth. And the youth is tapping into that energy. But what I want to tell us, my friends there, and that the youth cross-bearers, is that we cannot run away from the scene. We are part of this. We're in this together. This we must know. And we are privileged with one thing. We have been endowed with the live stream, with the with that current. You know, we have been shown how to tap into it. So we are to form the center core of all this, to bring about that which is healthy, so that that which we now know to be the proper thing will have the right footing. And so we can shape the conscience of the generality of the youth of this country, the generality of the youth of Africa. So if we are able to do this, then we know that the sure path that the youth of Africa and Nigeria will take will be the right one that is agreeable to the laws of the Almighty Father. And so it is now left to us to take the right direction. The time is now, not later. And so just like I told you at the beginning of this, I said that this is one of the line-up programs. We will have this more often. And like I've said, we are not alone. So we are here together. We want to thank you, sir, for making our point in time to be with us and to really open this path for us. Now we are strengthened, we are energized that Aluta Continua. These are the experience from years ago when I was a student. We are not new in this. We were arrested as students and we were never killed. You know, there are always people in that realm there where the elders are that always look out for us. You know, and I'm sure right now that we are here, they look out for us. They are really concerned about our welfare. So we are not alone. So we shouldn't be scared of anything. As long as our abolition is right, we will always be protected. So nothing will happen to us. This country is ours. And now is the time for us to express our volition the way we want to express it, so that that which is good can come to take place in this country. This country cannot be left behind. Thank you very much. So I hand over to Mr. Ogona, Shoewu, and Mr. Adedeji in Lagos. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Tony.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Deremi, and thank you very much, sir, for making our time to be with us. We've spent approximately 1 hour, 50 minutes. That's a significant amount of time to achieve something very useful.
So that can fetch a lot of dollars.
Yes, sir.
Yes, it can. Thank you very much.
Thank you all. I'll give you the paper, the scripts, and then you can circulate among the youths.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Contains a lot. Some I had to cut off. So thank you, and then fix another date we will talk, and then we can start the mentorship program. Call people up to come and address you from time to time and inspire you.
Thank you, sir.
I'm always positive, and I know positivity is the key to achieving your life ambition. You must always be positive and then consciously seek for guidance, and you will get it. It will always come. I said in the paper that the opportunities and our masterpieces are limitless. So you guys put on your shoes and get ready to start dancing. Connect together, connect with each other, connect outside of each other, but know consciously that you're carrying the power that can pave the way for possibilities for you. And your masterpieces will come. So thank you all for having me, and we'll see again very soon. Yeah. Bye-bye.
Thank
you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you all.